Stacey. Thank you for having me. Pleasure to see you again. My name is Gus or Gustavo, or however you want to call me. I'm from Spain, from the Canary Islands. I've been in the industry for over 25 years. Um, First in the UK, then back in Spain, and now I'm in Canada, in Toronto, since 2016. I'm a BS member, a part of the board in Toronto, but I'm also a human. That's why we're here, right?
That's right. Tell me what brought you to the film industry. Tell me maybe a bit about your childhood and what inspired you to be a filmmaker, which is what we all are.
Yeah. I grew up in the Canary Islands, like I said. I'm from the very beginning. I was like mesmerized by the water, um, because we are surrounded by water. And then I grew up in a restaurant. We were a family of four, and my parents had a restaurant, and we grew up there, like close to the beach, but in the restaurant. And I remember as a kid seeing people smoking. There was a time that everybody smoked everywhere, so I was just like looking at the smoke patterns constantly and like drawing smoke patterns. So I don't know, somehow felt mesmerized by fluid simulations between the water splashes and the smoke splashes. And then when I was in university, there was a course on animation. First, I think it was storyboarding, and then they brought someone from a university in the Balearic Islands to give us a week on cartoon animation. Back in the days, it was only before PCs, it was Silicon Graphics stuff. And I went, oh, I have to do that. I need to create my own stories. I need to create my own cartoons. We grew up watching Tom and Jerry and the Pink Panther and all those cool, the Coyote and the Roadrunner.
I
Um,
also watched all of those cartoons, and I would never show them to my kids now. I'm like, no, you can't watch that. It's too violent.
oh no, no, no. We we have two daughters, and
Yeah.
they grew up watching, especially the older one. That I used to put her South Park when she was little. The thing is, she used to call Carmen, like in Spanish name, because she didn't know English. So oh, that's Carmen, oh, Carmen. And I had the little figurines, and she loved it. And she still loves South Park and that type of humor. So that's good.
That's good. That's probably the right way to go.
Why did I get into film or VFX? I guess it was just a natural cause. I work with my family in the restaurant, the four of us, the four brothers. I have two sisters, two brothers. Oh, sorry. We have two brothers, two sisters. We all worked together. And then at some point, I just went to study animation, and I left. They stayed the islands, and and we go back and forth to Spain every year to visit the family and whatnot. But I stay in the business, like films in the UK, TV shows, games, and now I'm back in games after a long stint in BFX. And what I do, like for someone that don't know what the BFX are simulations mostly, where we get explosions, natural phenomena, and we try to mimic that in the computer. You have to have a good eye, you have to have an understanding of physics, but also you have to have a good sense of managing your own time because things take too long.
Yeah, effects I find is the meaning visual effects for those who may be listening who might not understand. But I always find effects like when the effects guys come into the dailies room and present their work, or these days often, in Teams or Zoom or whatever. I'm just mesmerized by it because, it's like science meets art meets, it's like almost like a dark art. And I'm the most blown away by the simulations because it's something that I know for sure I'll never truly understand. So I find it very fascinating, and kudos to you for making natural phenomena in the computer to look, as real as possible. I mean, all visual effects does that, or we try to do that, but kudos to you and to all of the effects artists. You talked a bit about your family. Just to pause, on the work stuff and the VFX stuff for a minute. What kinds of things do you do, like say on the weekend, or what does an average day look like in your family or hobbies or what are you guys up to?
So we have two daughters. One is 17, is in grade 12. She's like super stressed out. She's gonna kill me for saying that, but she's looking into health sciences for next year at uni. So trying to get the best marks. She's great. She's brilliant. She plays guitar. We try to record her. She hates us. So we might have her around playing guitar or just like taking a break from studying. She studied from day one. This year she was studying. She's like nuts. I never did that. So I don't know where's that coming from. But she goes to her room, she starts playing guitar, or she just comes, oh, I have a new song. You want to hear it? And she plays guitar. And the older one is in Vancouver. She's in third grade, third year of uni, studying forestry. She's an outdoorsy girl, very sporty. Her names are Candela, the one in Vancouver, Jimena, the one here in Toronto still. And my wife might be, if she's not working, might be sitting there, and now she has a portrait of her mom. She's always painting, doing stuff.
Oh wow.
We have like if I could move the camera, you see like in the back, this is painter from the Canary Islands called Nestor. We love that guy. It's a early 20th century. We even trying to do, me and my wife, immersive experience with that.
Oh.
This
Oh
summer.
wow. Oh cool. That's
I will
neat.
send you, I'll send you the link later. We have a website.
Okay.
We try to pitch the idea, but it will be like the normal day will be that will be me with my hobby from the last couple of years, which is bake nonstop. So I'm trying all sorts of bakes, bread, pastries, and the
Oh wow.
girls throwing at me, especially Jimena, throwing at me recipes. Oh, do you want to learn how to bake that? Do you want to learn how to bake that? I will be
What
baking
about
that.
sourdough? Have you mastered sourdough yet?
I was gonna say yes, sourdough. I got it under control. I was trying to try sourdough now, which is
Mm.
because I know some people, and one of Jimena's best friends, she cannot take bread, so I'm trying to bake some sourdough for her and for another friend. He was asking me, "Oh, why don't you bake with rye?" So, no, I'm happy to say that I had one of these like eureka moments last week when I managed to make a pan au chocolate, like croissant puff pastry that you could
Wow.
peel. Oh, like, yeah, that's kind of like life achievement. So it will be me baking, Marcher painting, Jimena playing guitar, and Candela in Vancouver hiking, uh, or
Wow.
surfing or playing sports. So that's our family dynamics. We used to play a lot of board games. We have a gazillion of board games stuck in there,
Yeah.
and we love Bob's Burgers. That's like which is
What
a
is
funny
it?
one. Bob's Burgers, you know the TV show. Oh, you have to watch it.
I'm not really up on a lot of the TV these days.
Oh,
We're
it's a
more
great
like, is
show.
it on demand or it's like on a
It's,
network?
I think it's on Disney Plus these days.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Okay.
know where we used to watch it before, but it's a family that has two girls, one boy, and they own a restaurant. So to me, it's like
Okay.
me as a kid
Yeah.
working, but for the girls, they were the ones that introduced that show to us. It's so cool. Like really funny, crazy stories, and it seems like every character kind of mimics one of us in the family. Although we are four, they are five. So
Yeah.
that's a fun one to have like as a connection with the kids,
Mm-hmm.
which is great.
Yeah, I saw an ad for like just a bus shelter ad for a
Um,
newspaper show. It's called like The Paper. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but every time I see that I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I need to see that," because my mom had a newspaper when I was growing
cool.
up in our house. So, I would come down from, waking up in the morning on the way to school, and I would be like, having my cereal while there was like mayhem all around, and this was like obviously in the, 80s and 90s. So it was not all like done on the computer. There were the
Yeah.
boards, the drafting boards, whatever they're called in newspapers, and with the mock-up of the newspaper, and people would be cutting things out with scissors or X-Acto knives or whatever, and varnishing the glue on the other side and piecing it all together. And we even had a dark room in the closet, like one of these old machines. It was like a dark room machine. Anyway, like it would print the photographs or like convert a photograph, like a silver print. It would convert it into dots. So you would lay the literal dots, like a sheet
That's
of
so cool.
dots over it, and then put it back, feed it back through the machine, and then it would print out a dot version of the of the photo. Anyway, a bit of a tangent there, but all of this is to say that's neat that you found that show, that it reminds you of your own childhood. Because yeah, every time I see that paper one, I'm like, oh, I want to watch that. So yeah, I don't have no idea if that's what it's about, or if it's about like a big newsroom, which I'm sure it is. It sounds like your kids are super creative, so that's amazing that you've been able to kind of transfer that passion to them. And it's really important. I mean, the next generation, how do you feel about them growing up in this strange time? What are your thoughts on AI and all of that?
It's more and more being, I wouldn't say it's been accepted, but it's people are realizing what can and cannot be good for, I think. I guess, like, especially in our industry, when no one ever asked for AI, right? Like, no one was saying, oh, we need the machine to do my work. Like, it's the joke that people say, oh, why didn't they take care of the laundry? Or that type of things, like leave the creative to us. I'm more concerned about, I saw a graphic the other day about the amount of false results that the AI can give you. Like,
The false results. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's like, okay, we are deploying these systems onto, I'm thinking about my daughter, like she wants to be in health science, right? What if the new generation of doctors rely on AI to get their answers, and then they are treating people badly? Now, just digressing a little bit, but in what it affects us, like right now in the industry, like AI, we have the machine learning tools for a long time in multiple departments, right? And as a tool, AI is going to be great. I think it's going to make us more efficient, and it's going to work beautifully. I think that we might end up with the portion of the pie, of creative pie or media consumption, will be generated by AI. Not 100% confident now that that's going to be big quality stuff, but some people will like that or will consume that because the new generations have short time spans. They scroll through stuff. It's not the same seeing things in a big screen where you're gonna, okay, this is pixel perfect. We always like, this can be better. This can be better. With AI, there isn't, this can be better. This is what AI gives you, also far at least, right? Like we see that Coca-Cola commercial where people are saying, okay, first shot, don't know, have you seen that one? That
I've
the
heard
truck
of it.
the truck has, don't know how many wheels, and the next shot it has how many wheels. They are at the front, they are at the back, like, and that is there. Somebody told me, oh, did they just want people to talk about that? Maybe, I don't
Yeah,
know,
maybe. Oh,
but
there's no such thing as bad press, as they say, although the
yeah,
person who
exactly.
wrote that was not alive in today's current climate, which is like just horrible sometimes with the online stuff and the trolling and the,
Oh
oh
yeah,
my God, it's just way too much.
it's I don't know if you follow, like I mentioned South Park earlier. Have you seen the latest season of South Park?
No, I haven't. No.
The
Where
latest
do you see
episode,
it? Where do you see it?
it's on Paramount, I think.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And in the first last episode, they it's a spoiler, but it's not. I mean, it's like relevant to what we're saying. The kids at school are creating um, revenge videos against other kids using AI, using Sora. It's basically
Mm,
a critique to Sora. It's like, okay, this is
Right.
gonna be really harmful, and it is already. Like people can create fake videos. So that's the part of AI that, okay, are you sure we are safe releasing these tools to everyone? Like that's the part of AI that really worries me. Like the same way I was saying, okay, people are taking the answers of ChatGPT or other tools for granted and going with that. And I'm not saying
Yeah.
in schools because schools have some sort of guardrails. My daughters tell me that the teachers have filters where they pass the exams through, and if they detect the percentage, they fail you because they can tell you, oh, that was AI generated, or you have been using AI to do this, and you shouldn't. So I fail you. And even when a friend of my daughter, she was saying that she didn't at all, but the tool failed and gave her a bad mark. So it's such
Wow.
a, a
Because
tricky situation
the tool is probably also AI, right?
using
So,
AI. Exactly.
yeah.
So
Yeah, there was this thing online, and I can't cite it. I don't know what I'll just say generally. There was a professor who failed everybody in his class because everybody, typed in the same question into whatever AI and it spit out the same thing. And basically, most of the assignments that they handed in were almost identical. So he highlighted all the things that were almost identical, handed it back to them, and said, "Hey, you need to redo this, and I want an apology." And they sent in an apology letter, which was also AI because it was all their apology letter was also almost identical to each other. You
yeah, it's
know, like we can't live like this, guys. We
no.
can't live like this. It's something has to change.
But even
You know,
the scary part that even us that might be some sort of somehow cautious, right? Like we can spot AI. We can say, okay, this is AI. I don't like even our daughters. Like when the first Sora videos came out, I was like very excited. Wow, this is great! Like oh, and I sent them to them, and my daughters were like, oh, this is some AI shit. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not sending anything else. So, but we are cautious of what's real, what's not. We get fooled a lot of the times. Like you see something and you go, whoa, that's insane. And then you're like, wait a minute, is that AI? Because you start seeing like the same animal showing up in a wide camera or the same cat getting chopped. Like, oh shit. Like they just, God, that's so much love. Like the internet is
yeah,
getting ruined. That's the other thing,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean, the internet was ruined right from the beginning, but that's another subject. I remember when the internet first came out, I know you do because you're a bit older than me, and certainly I do. And, it was like, what is this? Like the internet was just so wildly strange. And I remember one of the earliest times I ever used the internet, I was in a chat room because my friend taught me how to use it. And I was like, what? You talk to people like on the internet? Like, what do you mean?
Yep.
And she goes, yeah, it's like called a chat room, but it's not like a room where you go, well, like walk in physically. It's like a little, it's just text and you like type in whatever and it goes to like anyone in the world who is also in that room. And so I was like, okay, I have to figure this out. So she showed me the room and how to log in and all this other stuff. So I logged in and I found her because she told me what her like handle was. So I started trolling her a little bit. Like she's a Madonna fan. So I was like, oh, hey, any Madonna fans in here? And she goes, oh my gosh, I'm a Madonna fan. And I was like, it's me, you idiot. Like, not she's not an idiot. She's amazing. But and then I was like, you know what, this is just too weird. And I remember that moment and I was like, you know what, I'm coming over. So I closed, well, there was no laptops back then, but I, logged out of the internet so that people could use the phone again, and because remember it used to be one or the other, and then I was like, I'm coming over, so I jumped in the car and like drove to her house. I was like, that was just too weird. Like that was way too weird. So anyway, that's the beginning of the internet, as I remember it. But I just maybe this is something that just seems weird and terrible now, and then 10 years from now we'll be like, oh, remember when we were all worried about AI, like kind of like Y2K or like whatever. But There definitely is something different about AI that is not the same as the other things, like the internet or electricity or all the new inventions, like even fire was a new invention at one point, or a new discovery, I guess. But there is something different because you can take someone's image and make, like you said, make a video out of them doing something that they wouldn't normally do.
You can ruin lives, basically.
Yeah. Yes. And there has to be some guardrails for that. Like, I think, your daughter's going into the medical field. Like, I think there are some really amazing advancements that can happen with
Mhm.
AI, or it can read hieroglyphics, or it can discover things that we didn't know were discoverable, like the unknown unknowns. Like, there are so many cool things and amazing things that it could do. And there's so many terrible things that we already know it can definitely do. So the AI tools are amazing, but we need to be careful how we use them. All of us, like individually, also.
Do you know what? So I was thinking the other day. One of the first things that when Mid Journey, I think it was, some of these new tools came out. I was just trying them, and I always stop. And I was like, why am I wasting my time with this? Like in the sense of, it felt to me that I was spending time trying to make something work that wasn't giving me anything of value.
It's like a bad relationship.
Yes, it's like, okay, what am I doing this? It's like I'm trying to be lazy. It's kind of
Yeah.
that was like I'm trying to not work. Like
Yeah.
it felt like that, and I was making an analogy the other day with I bake and I love baking and I love having my hands with the dough, and I don't have a machine, and I'm thinking, okay, people tell me, oh, you should bake it like you should open a bake now. I'm like, I like my sleep, so I'm not doing that. But I think on the back of my head is the commercial aspect of things, which AI in a way takes away your when is it good enough? You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
and I was like also thinking, okay, but if I'm doing a simulation, if I'm doing a whatever type of simulation, there is always a point in which you decide, okay, this is good enough to show it to the supervisor, right? With AI, most of the time it's like, this is how it came out. I don't know. I have control. This has to be good enough to
Hmm.
present. It's slightly different. I think that you are cutting yourself short. I mean, with your own hands, you can feel and you can do more. With your own eyes, when you are doing simulations, you can do another iteration because you have controls over many things. Maybe that's what I'm missing from AI right now, like generative AI we're talking, like the controllability. If there isn't enough control, then you have to accept what the machine hallucinates for you. And if there was a more predictable s- result, then you could say, okay, I'm going to change this and it's going to give me a bit more of that.
What do you think? I mean, there's also the human soul element. So, let's talk a bit for a second about how, for some reason, and, please someone help explain this to us because I don't know how this happened. But for some reason, people are now conflating AI with CGI.
Uh,
And so, just to be clear, CGI is, computer generated images, but we, you, the artist, and other artists, and all the team that supports you guys, including producers and supervisors and everybody else, we are the creators, and the computer is the tool, just like a set is designed in a computer, and just like tools that you use are also designed in the computer. So, but there's still a human being, doing the creating, as opposed to AI, which was trained by those things and which happens more or less automatically, but we won't get into the weeds of how it's not really like fully automatic. But how do you feel with this recent narrative of that sort of misunderstanding from the
Um,
public, from audiences, and even from other filmmakers?
well, like general public is gonna be tricky to, well, tricky and not like
Well,
if you tell
fans, I
them
mean,
it's
like say film lovers.
yeah, film lovers. I mean, yeah, it's a tricky one. Like if it wasn't complicated enough to explain what we do now at the AI.
There's that compilation online with all the different actors and even directors, and and they're talking about like, oh yeah, there was no CGI. Oh, there was no CGI. And
Yeah,
I
it's it's
mean,
it's more like yeah, CGI. People are raging against CGI, and I think some other people will be raging against AI. Like, and CGI is because just they don't understand
right.
the full scope of work or how things work, or they've been misled into thinking that there is no computer generated images. Like every single pixel in that screen might have been retouched. They
Hmm.
don't know because they don't see it because it's great. The work that people in the industry did is so good that you think it's real,
Yeah. Yeah,
but it's not.
the invisible VFX. It's just interesting because like a film crew has so many people, hundreds of people, and in post we have hundreds more. And by the way, visual effects isn't just post. We're one of the first people on the crew, and so it's like a holistic process from script to screen. And we're there solving problems just like everybody else and
Uh-huh.
creating the piece just like everybody else. But for some reason, it's I don't know why visual effects is sort of like some kind of thing to be swept under the rug or not talked about. Or I just wonder why that is, because nobody denies that there were caterers there, or that there was an onset medic, or that there was nobody talks about that stuff, or stunts, or anything else. So why is it that visual effects is quietly either not talked about or outright denied as being part of the production?
Uh, I'll probably say that it's because it wasn't done properly when it came out. Like when you see these documentaries like the ILM Light and Magic, which I highly recommend, you see all those people in the early days of
The early
Star
days,
Wars,
yeah. Yeah.
the early days that they were scared about computers coming into the scene and they were going to lose their jobs. And many people didn't want the computers to be there, or like even Phil Tippett didn't want the animatronics to be replaced by CGI on Jurassic Park. And he speaks about that. But then you see that they coexist. So computers coexist with the old techniques, and they enhance or they um, work together nicely. Like com- VFX didn't replace handmade sets; they just allow for bigger sets.
The visual effects department is not replacing anybody. What it's doing is adding cool stuff and adding a way for for new dreams to be realized. And maybe that's
And
what AI is also on
yeah,
top of us also. Like, I don't know.
I was gonna say that. It's like maybe
Yeah.
AI is the same.
Yeah.
AI will allow, like they say, oh, this is democratizing. Well, is it? I mean, if you have to pay for, I'm not sure it's democratizing stuff, but
Yeah.
yeah, some people will get early access to these tools. Like I, one
Yeah.
of my hobbies, and I forgot to mention that is, and this is a funny one because I bake and I 3D scan my breads. So I have a lot. I still have to put the website, but I have photogrammetry and Gaussian splatting of my breads, which is like a nerdy thing to do. But those tools, and I when I show it to people, oh, how do you do that? Or like, this is free. Like Epic has a reality scan that you can download for free, so you don't need much more than that. And then there's a bunch of tools online that you can create your own stuff with the help of machine learning tools, and you can be creative that way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, I've often thought I think I have another scanning one. I haven't used it in a few months, but our team used it on my last project, and yeah, we would just go, hey, there's, that prop is ready, run over there and scan it. And it was just so amazing because that's another thing that's super evolved since the last time, since when I first started. um the scanning of things and the photogrammetry wasn't where it is now, and that's amazing. Like, that's a really cool invention, and it has all kinds of uses, and it's awesome. So technology is amazing when it's done correctly. Like, look, we're talking right
Yep.
now and over the computer, and that there's nothing not cool about that. It's amazing. When you see a painting, for instance, yes, it's something that someone has painted, and you know that it's like a tangible thing. But maybe because visual effects is not tangible anywhere, like you can never touch it. Maybe that's a disconnect in the human experience of filmmaking. Like,
Well, to that point, one of the biggest satisfactions of an effects artist, or I don't know if I can say that, or I say of myself as an effects artist, was always looking at the points, at the wires, like the whole process. Like I when I was, especially when I was doing water, I was enjoying like seeing the tendrils of water, like that on, like spinning around, just trying to make it really wonderful, like pretty stuff before it got to the final picture. And then in the final picture, I didn't care that much. I mean, it has to work, but if this works because I put love and care on what I was crafting, then it will work there. But I like to see the behind the scenes more than to see the final big blockbuster effects like the Marvels. I don't care that much about the Avengers, but I love to see the
the making
breakdowns.
of. Yeah, I know. The breakdowns are the best. It's so awesome, especially when you see like a person just running on a blue screen, and then you see the final picture and it's like explosions or a planet or both, or like a war going on. Or I love
And
that. It's like just one little person
because
running.
there you see the amount of work that goes behind making those films, right? Like, okay, and the
Yeah.
amount of people. And before I forget, the state of the industry at the moment is like crazy. Like we've been like 2, 3 years, and I'm not even talking COVID. I'm talking after the strikes. Like
Yeah, the
everybody's
strikes.
in a
Yeah.
pickle. We have so much people still unemployed,
Yeah.
suffering, that need like a helping hand and an ear to cry, just a conversation, right?
Hmm.
And uh, um, because you're doing this, I'm pretty sure you are the same as me in that sense that you talk to people and say, okay, just happy to have a conversation with anyone that is in your network, and sometimes not even from your network. When you go to events, you just try to help people by just listening to them and trying to give the best advice that you can give, right? I'm
Yeah.
looking at the companies now. We still have big shows being produced, even though there are less than what we are used to. It's amazing work on the screens. The only issue is that amazing work is most of the time, like at least in the last couple of years, being done with less people and
Yeah.
just stretching people way too thin. So I'm not enjoying it that much. I'm watching stuff that I work, or somebody I know worked, and I'm suffering for that. Like just feeling the struggle that these people had to go through to finish that project.
Yeah.
And that's such a sweet and sour feeling. It's like, okay, the work is amazing, but the people suffer so much doing this. And this is something that the normal viewer won't realize because they are like totally unaware of the struggles of the companies, because the companies are also struggling. But the companies are formed by humans operating the machines.
Yeah.
And we don't talk about that. It's like, okay, from the top to the bottom, from the production, the HR people, the supervisors, the head of
The C
departments,
and the CEOs. I mean,
they all suffer in a
the
different way.
in a different way. Yeah, every like you say, everyone is a human being, And it's been a really tough time. These last few years have been really, really tough for a lot of people. And, and those people deserve to be seen and recognized and understood. And certainly not swept under the rug and talked
Yeah.
about in public like they don't exist. I mean, talk about, adding fuel to an already very delicate,
Hmm.
delicately raging fire, if that makes any sense. And that's the purpose of this podcast, is to help people understand that we are human beings with families, with hopes, with dreams, with a past, with a childhood, with, hobbies and likes and dislikes. And we see you, we are you, and we're part of this community together.
Mhm. And we just need to be kind to each other.
Exactly. Kind to each other and give credit where credit's due. And,
100%.
and just, but given the state of things, though, what advice would you have to, say, either a young person coming up or maybe someone who's, ready to throw in the towel, or, what advice would you have for folks in general in this industry or coming up through this industry?
I guess this is like the topic that everybody is asking these days, because we have so many unemployed good people, and then we have so many talented people coming out of schools, and then people that are considering getting into schools to study, which is like even more complicated. There's two or multiple tiers of this. I could say follow your passion. We always say that. If you love to do something, go for it. Don't think about, can I make a living? I used to say, I've been working for 25 years. I haven't stopped. I normally quit. I don't um, get laid off. I got laid off last year for 4 months, or temporary layoff due to the downsides, etc. But you have to be in everyone's shoes to know what the best option might be. Because if you haven't been working and maybe and you don't see the prospects, you may have a mortgage, you may have a family, you may have a partner that cannot support the whole family for a long time. I don't know. There's so many different. Then there is the mental health aspect of being unemployed, um, or being burned out, which is like that was my case last year. I was 5 months in sick leave after a terrible burnout, and I was using two different therapies. People don't like sometimes talk therapy, but I went to two different therapies. One of them was just to get back to the computer because I couldn't get close to the computer. That was how bad my burnout was. Now I'm happy to say that I'm much better, but still trying to recover from that. It's not, it doesn't go away because you left with scars, right? And the the current situation is that there is a lot of people that have anxiety, and even though you want to give them a positive answer, you have to be careful on how you word your answer, because the reality is one thing. And yesterday I was talking to someone, he was saying, "Oh, things are coming out," and I see like loads of new jobs coming, like trickling, but things are picking up. Everybody was saying that 2025 was the year. It wasn't. Then everybody was saying that 2026 was the year. It's around the corner. Hopefully, it will be. My answer to someone yesterday, like just literally, that a friend was texting me like the same thing, because people like know that you have a bit of experience. They ask you, "What do you feel? How do you feel about this and that?" I said, "I'm still positive because you have Harry Potter TV show, 10 seasons. There was another big show that is like being remade. I don't know how many seasons. We're gonna have a lot of TV shows, big shows still being made. So things have to come back. Can you wait? Do you want to wait?" that's the only thing. I personally feel that I will be in the industry for a few more years. Maybe not in VFX because I didn't want the stress that inflicted in me uh, anymore. But to be fair, when I came to Canada, it's going to be 10 years in February. I knew that the VFX industry was stressful because I had been doing that back in the day in London, and I have been around enough to know how things operate, like the pace. And I said, okay, I will do it 5 years and then I will do something different. So now that I'm in game cinematics, the pace is much manageable, especially for um, my the life that I want to live, basically. When you're
Yeah.
younger, it's better. When you get older, things change. That your priorities change, everything changes, right?
Well, in time you can't get back. It's a finite resource, when you're younger, you kind of like don't really think about that. You spend,
Uh-huh.
I used to spend 18 hours on a music video and think nothing of it, sleep a couple hours, drink a few
Yeah.
coffees, go back, do another one, and I mean, oh my God, I would never do it now. I mean, my boss literally died in the night on a music video once. Like and she had, diabetes and stuff, but she was 26 years old. But none of us had slept in like a month. And it was that moment where I was like, oh my God, I don't think I can do this for much longer. Just like reality comes crashing right in like into you. The time is very precious, and especially as parents, we see that and we see our kids growing, and you're grasping onto them and they're like, flying away to another city or doing something else, or they don't want to hug at drop off time, or like, just time is so precious. So yes, you don't want to spend all of your time doing something that is going to cause burnout. How do we make sure not to do that to other people? Well, if we've got a tight deadline, at the very least, let's treat each other with kindness, at the
Yep.
very very least. So that's my little soapbox for today. But
100%. Like kindness goes a long way. Like you just need to be respectful, and I think we need to know people, like the people that
yes.
we work with. We have to make sure that we get to know them, not just as, oh, this is the person I'm gonna send the task to,
Yeah.
but like, hey, who are you? What, like, just have a conversation. Go to
Yeah.
the coffee machine. Or if we are online, you just like can I have a one-to-one? Like, just tell me
Yeah.
about you. So you know what's going on with that person. Because if you give a task to someone, we are all professionals, but maybe we are going through something that you don't want to share, but maybe you have a family problem, you have a whatever thing it is that is going to be affecting your life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking just the productivity, but your life in general, your mental state.
Yeah.
And if you know that, maybe we can accommodate and we can just try to help from our supervision position, from our production position, and make the things work for everyone.
Yeah.
And then that person, when gets better, they will revert that and do it to someone else. Like, okay, when I was in this situation, somebody helped me. I'm gonna do
Mm-hmm.
that to another human being that is in the same position. It goes a long way. And when I was a kid, one of the first memories I have been like around 8 or 9. I wasn't at my dad's restaurant one night, and I saw him going outside feeding the homeless,
Mm.
like the people that were like sleeping around the market. He would go with the food that he had in the restaurant at night. He will heat it up, the soups, and he will hand them. So that's something that's stuck in my head, like help people in need. Um,
Wow.
because
What a memory.
you don't know how people got there. So you don't know why. Like these days, LinkedIn is like, you see people that I'm at my last resort. I've been applying to this, to that, to that. Why do people get to those things? We have to do something. We have to. Um, there is one thing that we put at the BS. I think it's BS Global. It's like a career path which try to help.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
well. that
It
had
is.
uh,
I saw that as well, and I thought that's a great idea because, toxic positivity also is not getting anyone anywhere. Like you can't just deny what's in front of you and pretend like it doesn't exist, which is a shrinking industry across the board, not just for visual effects, but, shrinking, they're making fewer shows, they're making fewer movies. So that means less work for all of us. It is important to diversify no matter what you're doing. Like my son wants to be a soccer player and professional soccer player. I'm like, absolutely follow your dream, and instead of saying fall back on something, no, because I don't like that language, I said have a parallel path, because well, the soccer is a special example because your career's done, by 35 or maybe 40 if you're Messi or somebody. Then what are you going to do? Retire at 35? I think for us, for film folks, and especially visual effects and gaming and animation, we should really be looking at that parallel path. And it's never too late to do that. And it's not a fallback. Nobody's failed. It's just the way it is right now. So,
because it's about like you have skills that can be transferable, and there
yes.
are so many industries that we don't talk about,
Yeah.
like that can use it. Like the other day, I was talking Gaussian splatting. I kept like up to date with the latest there just because of my hobby and but also professional interest. I saw that the one of the biggest real estate um, players that kind of scan uh, condos and whatnot is using now Gaussian splatting to also keep their structures. They're like, there you go. Someone
There
that
you go.
does that would be in real estate. Like I started doing uh, real estate infographics.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Well, I know you have a meeting to run to, so I don't want to keep you. Are there any final thoughts, or, anything that you want film fans or filmmakers or just the general audience or just anybody to know?
I'll say stay positive no matter what. No matter what, and talk to your peers. Talk to your peers. Go to the events that you have around. There are Unreal meetups. Uh, Unreal, before we forget, this is one of the best ways to keep up to date and create. Like you can create your own stories with Unreal, which is free. Houdini Indie version is free. You can Blender is fantastic. So there are so many free tools that you can use to create your own stories, and no one is stopping you from starting those. Like maintain a hobby, keep a hobby, get a new hobby, go for walks constantly.
Yeah, spend time in
Go,
nature. It's a good one.
exactly. Go in nature. Do some like fast walking, exercise if you can. I'm a lazy, but I walk. I walk to the office. Now I'm back home. Um, and try to stay away from the negativity of the industry that might be going through, because this is a dark cloud that like it's a storm. It's been around for too long. It shall pass. It shall pass. And I see a future where we're going to have like, again, another big plethora of shows and things to work on, cool things. In a way, it's up to us to adapt to the new realities. Like AI is going to be here. The AI bubble might explode, but the AI tools will come our way. We just need to be aware, look into them, know how to use them, because that will give us an advantage. And stay happy, stay connected. Stay connected probably will be like a good ending. Stay connected, like make sure that you talk to people. The more, the
Yeah.
merrier.
Yeah,
And
talk
you
to
see
people.
people.
And in real life right now, the podcast is all online, but I would like if I could figure out how to do it, and please someone reach out and help me, because I'm also super busy right now with a bunch of different things, but I would love to do an in-person podcast as well, maybe with a few people, and set up an in-person thing. But regardless of that, walks with people, coffee with people in real
Mhm.
life. I mean, you have to get out there and be with others, because yeah, human connection is so important.
Hack people.
What's that?
Hack people.
Hug people.
Hug.
That's right. Hug people. That's right.
It's no.
Yeah.
I remember the times after COVID, I was like hugging everyone like
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, hugging is remember in like during the deepest darkest days of COVID, I remember seeing an article saying will we ever hug again or something like that, like saying hugs will never you will never hug again, or it was like some terrible
Yeah.
terrible headline. And I was like, "You know what? No, thanks. I'm
I
not going to live
refuse.
that life. Yeah, I
Yeah.
refuse." Anyway, okay, well, thank you so much, Gus. I'm so thankful that you're here, and thank you so much, and we'll see you again soon.